Hi. Hello. Welcome. You're probably hearing me. It looks like you are hearing me. Yep. Sorry. My name starts with W, and I am the last in the list of audio sources. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Will. Thank you for joining us here at Live from the Apocalypse. And if you've never caught a Live from the Apocalypse stream before, we play tabletop role-playing games to raise money for nonprofits, progressive causes, good organizations, and generally just try to support good people doing good work. We ask that instead of giving us any of your money, you instead take it and give it to the causes and the organizations that we are currently platforming, because they will do much better things with it. We just play games on the internet, and they do important, meaningful work. And speaking of important, meaningful work, this stream benefits some very close friends of mine. Some friends of mine run a nonprofit here in the city where I live, which is Baltimore, Maryland. They are called Feed the Scene, and they provide housing and like meals to touring bands as they pass through our city. They put on shows, they find opportunities for bands to play shows and things like that. And currently, they're in the process of trying to save one of our longest running venues, known as the Sidebar, which is a very I don't really know how to describe the Sidebar. It's falling apart, but it's our terrible venue, and it almost closed during the pandemic. In fact, it did close during the pandemic, and they are currently in the process of trying to save it. And this stream is benefiting those efforts. So, per our usual practices here, if you like what you see, instead of, like I said, giving your money in subs or bits or any of the normal Twitch things that Jeffrey Bezos will take more than half of in the process, you can hit ! Donate in the chat. Post the link to donate money to Feed the Scene, and together we will hopefully, we will save the Sidebar one way or another. And that is a lot of the things. You can subscribe, of course. It's a Twitch channel. We literally can't turn that feature off. Just be aware that if you do so, Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog for every month that you are subscribed. And he is a monster. He's a menace to society. He is still at large, and he has not been apprehended by the authorities yet. So choose wisely. Your alternative is you can donate, and then the McElroy brothers will interrupt whatever it is we're doing and scream at us, and derail the entire momentum of the game. So feel free to make your own choice. Just decide whether or not you can sleep at night, knowing what you've done. I think that is well and truly all of the things in the stuff. So without further ado, we will get into our introductions. We'll go around and say a little bit about it. I'll talk about the game a little bit first. We're playing Vampire Records tonight, which is a game that uses the Buffy the Vampire Slayer system from 2003. This game is set in the fictional town of Wallachia, New Jersey, which is right outside of New York City, and it focuses on a independent record store in the year 1990X, called Vampire Records. Our cast of characters are employees of that same institution, and we will get around and meet each of them very briefly, and also meet the players who are playing them. First, I guess I'll kick this off, as we go around and start our introductions. Also, I'm going to take these off because I can't read or see anything, but it was a bit
beautiful while it lasted.
Yeah, you do it for the bit, Maybe they'll come back out. Who knows? At a later time, but here we go. Hello. Hi. My name is Will. I'm the employee of the month, as is everyone on the stream tonight. And below you can find all of the things and the stuff. Most of what I do here is on Live from the Apocalypse. I do a lot of things. I run Class Reunion, which is our 5e game about high school students who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years. I edit and run our Masks podcast, Academy H, and I do a lot of other stuff. I'm running this game tonight that you are currently watching. Welcome. Everything at Live from the Apoc, at livefromtheapocalypse.com. You can follow me at Willem Scream. That's most of the things. Pretty much everything I do is here on the channel. And that'll do it. We usually go in alphabetical order. So, Alex, you are next.
Hey, everybody. I'm Alex. You can find me at Mightiest Finn on Twitter, and I mostly write games. My partner AC and I have written one game, Backwater, which is set in a post-apocalyptic New Orleans, Southern Gothic horror genre. We have another game coming out first quarter of 2023, which is this year, so called Backroads, which will be in St. Louis, but mostly right, but I have been popping in and out of streams to play some games with friends, and I am just super excited to be here with all of these talented people. And do you want me to talk about Barry?
No, I think we'll get into Barry and everybody
Okay.
organically.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alex, Candace.
Hi, my name is Candace. You can find me across the interwebs at the Candace Girl or at Candace the Magnificent. My pronouns are they, she. I'm super excited to be here because Buffy is one of my favorite shows of all time, and Empire Records is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to be playing Phoebe Riot, also they, she, the local rock promoter, and yeah, I think that's what we're leaving for now.
Hell yes. Thank you so much, Candace. Eli.
Hey, my name is Eli. I am one of several people that make up Mayday Roleplay. We're award-winning podcasts as well as streamers. We currently are going through our Vampire the Masquerade campaign called Vegas by Night, which is going to be coming back next Saturday, about 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. When I'm not hanging out with Mayday, I do write some games, particularly one called Ghostfi, which is about learning to say goodbye to your characters and letting go of them. It's a really awesome one. So check that out on my Twitter, anywhere at a Ghost of Eli, or you can hang where I'm hanging out with Mayday Roleplay at Mayday Roleplay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least for tonight, Nathan. Nope, that's wrong. What happened? Okay. Something's wrong with with my touch portal, but we improvise. Your audio has deserted. Wait, are you muted? Maybe.
I was muted.
Hell yes.
Fuck. I was literally in my brain the whole time being like, wouldn't it be funny if I was muted and I made some joke about no.
Yes, it would
Damn
be
it.
funny.
It was funny. As it
Hey,
turns out.
Amazing.
hey everybody. I'm Nathan. I do pre-recorded edited podcasts. I am the GM for the Reckless Attack podcast. You can see all of our socials below, usually on the Twitters, on Instagram, and all the places. We are a weekly 5e actual play podcast where we have much horror, much friendship, much mystery, and much frogs. New episodes every Tuesday. We also, twice a month, do TTRPG interview shows where we interview some of our favorite folks in the tabletop role playing game space. So you can find us on all the socials on recklessattack.com. And we always edit out times where we accidentally were muted on all of our shows. So let that be a selling point.
The beauty of doing it live. Perfect. I will make you not huge on the screen. Thank you so much, Nathan. All right, cool. Very cool. We, on that note, we can get started and dive right on in. So, our establishing shot, of course, is of a small town right across the bridge from New York City. The town itself, as we see a sign, that says, obviously, "Welcome to Wallachia. Enjoy your stay." The town itself is almost idyllic in a 1990s kind of way. You don't see, there's not a huge collection of graffiti. What is there is very artistic and purposeful. People are very polite to each other. They greet each other, but there are still elements of a counterculture that has seeped into the zeitgeist. Everywhere you look, this town seems to be somewhat saturated in music and the arts in general. Just maybe a little unusual for a town of its location, right across the street from what a lot of people would consider the greatest city in the world, the most sort of the center of the arts, perhaps. But Wallachia itself has a lot to offer. And as we pass over all of the different streets, there's a main drag, because of course there is, labeled Main Street. And in one particular shop front on Main Street, there is a record shop with flaking paint on the inside of its display window. It says Vampire Records, Fangs for Your Business, established 1996. Sorry, established 1966. And the shop itself has a closed sign on it. It's still early in the day. A lot of places have not quite opened up. It's about 8 a.m., I would say. And at this moment in time, the Vampire Records day shift are slowly trickling into the establishment. I'm curious, who do we think is usually the first to get there? I will say, okay, Barry, I will say yes, but on this particular day, Barry, you have actually already put in to have the morning off, as you have an audition that you cannot miss.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. So of our three remaining characters, who do we think is normally first?
So, like, I feel like Phoebe would be first by the skin of their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think everyone is probably always late, but Phoebe is there. Like, if we open at 11, it's like 11:01, and Phoebe's like with the keys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it is maybe strange to you at this moment, because obviously you all show up to work before the store opens. You have to like restock and get everything ready, clean it up. But which is why you're there so early. But normally, I would say probably normally either Barry or Devin
Mhm.
have already, shown up very much on time, maybe a little bit early, and like opened the place up and started doing everything. So I think maybe even you like just try to walk in expecting it to be open, Phoebe, and
Mhm.
it's still locked, which is very unusual.
You guys kind of see, like, if the camera were kind of on the front of the
Mhm.
store, you would see this kind of helmeted. The helmet has like band stickers like all over it, so you can like barely tell what color the helmet is. Um, there's a person on a Vespa. They're like medium build, like 5'7", 5'8", kind of deep brown, kind of medium chocolate skin, big, gigantic, oversized mirrored glasses. And they're riding up on a sparkly like candy apple red Vespa that has these big like lightning bolts and stuff all over it. Um, and they're wearing some skinny jeans, big bright red combat boots that match the bike. Um, Probably like a jean jacket with a bunch of like patches, like a big back patch and like a bunch of buttons and things like that on top. Um, and as they kind of like take their helmet off and kind of tuck it under their arm and try to like fumble in their like messenger bag for their keys. Um, like you can see they're wearing like earbuds underneath that are like blaring Bad Religion, and they're like really struggling to like get this door open. They have a big kind of ridiculous kinky curly mohawk that kind of springs out from underneath the helmet, and the front of it is like this kind of like dyed greenish like blue color, and they kick the door a couple of times, like, fucking open, motherfucker, open up. I swear to fucking God, I swear. And like the person's like looking around frantically, like, please let me get inside before there's a customer. I mean, not that there would be. It's 11 o'clock in Wallachia. I mean,
Yeah,
Right.
Justin, fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that
There we
down,
go.
dude. Shit,
Sorry.
yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
So much for the donation. I noticed that the total changed. The alert didn't go off. I fixed it. Now we're good. So thank you so much to whoever donated. Phoebe, yes, 100%. You have that moment, and then you like take a second. It's so early, and it takes you a second to register that the door's not stuck. It's still locked, and the close sign is still there. You have a key, uh, but you are obviously the first person to get here, which is strange. And I think at that moment, your coworkers will show up, all kind of independent of each other. So let's take a second. How does Junie show up?
Probably like a big blue bus just kind of drives by, and then Junie is like there standing on the opposite side of the street. She's got a coffee cup in her hand that she obviously brought from home, and she's just like casually walking across. I think while Phoebe's just focused on trying to get the door open, Junie just kind of slinks like over and kind of just like leans like over her shoulder and just be like, "What are you doing?"
These turds aren't here yet. I don't. It's too fucking early for this.
They're always here first.
I don't understand. It's already supposed to be open. I don't have any fucking coffee. I need to get inside here right now.
I hand her my coffee cup. Do you have keys? I didn't bring my keys with me.
Fucking somewhere in here. I don't know. And like I'm pulling out like random shit. I've got like cassettes, CDs, a Walkman, like a fucking little Discman that's like still playing and spinning inside. I'm like throwing shit out of my bag. I've got like extra batteries falling all over the
I'm
ground.
grabbing the cassettes and like looking at them and like checking them out and seeing what she's got. Pocket maybe one of them like while she's not paying attention.
So
Perfect.
finally I get the keys and like I just like throw them in the lock like really angrily. Just like I've fucking had it. My fingernails have like this real chipped kind of black and red nail polish on them, and I'm like attempting to get into this door.
Before we get to Lonnie's arrival, Eli, do you want to take a minute to describe Junie?
Oh, yeah. Junie is about 6ish feet. She's got a long mop of just like dark brown hair under a greenish beanie. Um, Kind of just like punkish look with like a tank top over a shirt and some like ripped up jeans and some boots. And just kind of very slouchy like just laid back. Has a Discman like kind of tucked like stuffed in a small pocket, the pocket that's just too small for it, but it kind of fits in there enough just to make it work. And then just like those like really bad like plasticky headphones just like wrapped around her neck, um, along with coffee cup in hand. Um, but yeah,
Perfect. Absolutely. And as far as Lonnie is concerned, how are you rolling up to work?
So the camera kind of dramatically shows, the two are kind of like
Yeah,
kicking
just
their
for
way
fun.
in and
Rip
making
it,
a
rip
light
it, baby.
spectacle, at least as
Slop
far as the
that
main
down,
street
dude.
goes.
Yeah,
As soon as it
crack
kind
one
of
for the
opens
big
up
boy.
and they kind of like get all their stuff back together and the camera kind of pans around, they show that, oh, hooray, donation.
Yes, thank you so much for your donation.
The camera shows around the corner, kind of like in a little alley, like right on the side of the building, is a pretty tall, like 6'2", 6'3", muscular guy who is standing there and has clearly been standing there for several minutes, not wanting to be the first one in. And just like he's tall, pretty fair complected, and has a ratty misc band sweatshirt kind of pulled up over his eyes, and has a jean jacket over it, or like a denim vest with the cut off sleeves. And he's just been like sitting there, not looking, and just like listening. And as soon as the doors kind of like swing open and you hear the little like jangle of the bell saying that a customer's walked in, he just kind of immediately turns on his heel and kind of walks around the corner and basically just like follows the two in, um, and just says, "Hey guys, morning."
Jesus, Lonnie.
Make more noise, man. Gotta make more noise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi. Good morning.
Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
No, you didn't. Just you caught us off guard.
Phoebe has not taken off their glasses and just like marches past you to the break room to start making coffee for everybody.
100%, absolutely. And yeah, you all get into the store. It's you turn on all the lights. There's probably like a delivery that has been waiting for you out by the back loading dock, and there is a it's not a chore wheel, it's more like a chart talking about who has which responsibilities that morning, which varies. There's a lot of different things listed there. It's like unpack the inventory, check stock. There's a category that just says like sweep and mop. And for like the entire foreseeable future, it just says Lonnie for that category. And it kind of seems like that's maybe the only thing Lonnie is ever scheduled for. But there's a lot of variation in it, and I think on this particular day, Junie, you check the chart and you see that are scheduled for um, you're scheduled for unpacking the delivery. Phoebe, you were scheduled for checking the stock, and you would also see that Barry is scheduled for uh, what just says feeding time at the top, but you haven't seen any sign of Barry.
I think Phoebe kind of checks this sheet, sees feeding time, recognizes that the store is locked, and immediately goes to check the basement. I don't
Yeah,
think I go downstairs. I think I just open the door and go, Barry, Barry, don't tell me you're fucking late, dude. Wait, hello?
Lonnie, you just feel the presence of Lonnie behind over your shoulder, just kind of like slide up. He doesn't say anything, but just like is gazing over your shoulder down into the darkness of the basement.
Do you know what happened to Barry? Did he come in early to like feed to do the thing?
No, Barry and I don't really talk anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get a cup of coffee. We can unpack this, all right?
you brew up the coffee. It is a very ancient drip coffee machine. It's got band stickers all over it. It is awful, but it is also very familiar. And are you making enough for everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, I make like a
Perfect.
really big full, probably like the full 12 cups of coffee.
Where it's actually like 12 and a half cups, and
Yeah.
like technically it's over full, but you're like, yeah, it'll get drank.
Everyone will drink it.
100% throughout the day. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Amazing. Great. So yeah, you have coffee. You feel a little bit more human, a little bit more awake. That takes maybe 20, 30 minutes, but after that, still no sign of Barry.
Is Barry scheduled to work today?
I mean, yeah, he's supposed to do the feeding.
His name's on the list, so
Where
I'm
is
not
he?
fucking going down there.
I'll go. I'll do it. He like puts down very dramatically the broom that he's been holding and just sweeping roughly the same spot for the 20 to 30 minutes that you've been brewing coffee, and turns dramatically. The camera pans onto his face, close up shot of eyes locking on to the basement door, and walks towards it and opens it dramatically. Hand hovering over the doorknob, the whole 9 yards.
Fantastic. Lana, you descend into the basement of the store, which is mostly just used for storage. It's just like overflow stock. There's a lot of old records that don't sell down there, things that, bands have left behind over the years, and have just you've never been able to sell them. And, but in the farther back in the basement you go, the stranger it becomes, the less like record store stock there is, and the more sparse it becomes until you reach like the far end from the steps, and there's this alcove kind of like carved out of the concrete wall, almost into like it looks like natural stone. And it is deeply shadowed. There is also a fridge.
Lonnie, I think, has been deathly silent this whole time. Hasn't made any sound, hasn't called out to Barry or anything like that. And is it an ingress? Like, is this the start of like a further in hallway kind of situation, or is
You're
it like
actually,
this is where the barrier is?
yeah, it is where the barrier is, and you're actually not sure how far back it goes. All you really know is that, like, all you really know is not to go inside, and that whatever is inside can't get out.
Barry looks around, or excuse me, Lonnie looks around one more time. Sorry, Alex, I don't mean to tell you to play your character. Looks around dramatically, just hoping to see Barry emerge from behind a box, and looks down the dark hallway and says, "Hey, hey, you seen Barry?"
From the shadows of the alcove, you see movement. You hear a rustling noise as a figure slowly places fingers against the top of the alcove, kind of almost bracing itself as it lurches forward out of the darkness and into the very dim, limited light of the
Lonnie doesn't
basement.
move a muscle, like just laser focused, no movement, staring down into the darkness.
The figure that emerges is one you are all too familiar with. You recognize the emaciated form of Noah Hartley immediately. Um, he is wearing the sort of tattered remains of some type of finery. Maybe it was a suit of a very outdated fashion. At one point, he's got like a very moldy, rotted cravat around his neck, the remains of it, a jacket that is like very frayed, does not have a shirt or anything like that left. So you just kind of open chested to where it just ribs. You just see ribs on ribs, and then like the tattered remains of black pants and like no shoes. You see the yellowed nails, the yellowed toenails in particular of him, and you see his bald head, his yellowed eyes, his pointed ears, and his fangs. And he says, "I have not today." Did he no call, no show?
And Lonnie, like, despite not moving, just like his gaze starts to go anywhere but, not out of fear, but because of something he doesn't want to see. And he says, "We don't know yet. We were just checking. Want to make sure he's safe is all. This isn't a not safe place. Thanks." And then he just like turns to leave.
Were you not? Are you going to? He kind of like looks meaningfully at the refrigerator.
Lonnie stops and just, kind of chews his tongue for a second. It's just, yeah, yeah, sure. And he goes over to the fridge and presumably opens it up and sees bags of like, I'm imagining like medical blood kind of like
100%.
sample kind of things just piled up. And he's done this before, so he just kind of like grabs one and I presume just kind of like chucks it at him. You kind of
Mhm.
underhand tosses it, um, so that this creature can consume it.
Noah catches it in one hand and immediately just like sinks his teeth into it, just starts like gulping the blood down eagerly. Some of it spills out of his mouth and like down onto his chest. Uh, he pauses like in the middle of it after he gets a good drink of it, and with his mouth still sort of like covered in the blood around the outside, he says, "Are you all right, Lonnie? Is there anything you need to talk about?"
No. Yes.
I know you and I have never really had that type of relationship, but I promise I've been a listening ear for many of your coworkers over the years.
Lonnie looks conflicted, and he again stares down at some corner, and then looks up and makes eye contact and says, "How do you live like this? Not like wait, not like this. I mean, like you are. Well, not like as a monster. You were human, right?
Uh,
Once.
I was. You know, it's funny. When you've been alive as long as I have, I'm sure at some point there must have been some sort of anguish or angst about not being human anymore. But man is a an adaptive creature, if nothing else. It's been so long, I don't remember what it was like anymore. What it was like to eat food or walk in the sun or care for another. Did you mute yourself again? I lost your audio.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Shit. I'm
You're
trying to
good.
be a good fucking steward.
You're good.
Um, and Lonnie, at the mention of caring about someone else, his already furrowed brow tightens somehow even more furrowed. He just kind of like glares. He says, "Yeah, all right."
He he leans forward against puts his hand out and he kind of like makes contact with the air, it seems like. There's kind of a shimmering disturbance under his hand at the entrance to the alcove, and he kind of leans against it as if it were a wall, puts his head as close to it as possible. Says quietly, "I guess what I'm trying to say, Lonnie, is don't worry. You'll get used to it."
And at that, Lonnie just like turns on a heel and just like marches out of the basement, just like in a huff. And just like as he gets to the bottom of the stairs, does a dramatic, puts his hand on the banister and pauses and then kind of looks over his shoulder, says, "Yeah, yeah, thanks." He goes upstairs.
Call after you. Don't mention it.
And Lonnie
Uh,
gets upstairs, yells out, "He's not down there. I took care of it." And he like goes over and like checks feeding off of the schedule.
I think at that point I'm probably out with Junie, like in the store, like refilling some of the CDs and the vinyl and stuff like that.
Yeah, I brought whatever deliveries were out back
Yeah.
in and stuff, like dragging it back in.
I think
Helping
I
out.
like hear him say that, and I just like look at Junie, and I'm like, I don't fucking get it, man. He's so like weirdly hot, but like also extremely fucking weird.
I think it's turf toe. You know what that is?
No.
It's like a thing that happens to like sports people, like their toes get fucked up, like stretch too far, and then they can't do anything anymore. Like they just, once you lose your toes, you can't really, you know, that's it.
Yeah, I guess I'd be pretty fucked up if I couldn't use my toes.
Yeah, kind of like hurts you in like a weird way. So
All right, I'll try to be more patient with him. Like you've got a point. Like he can't like help that.
yeah, but I see what you're saying at the same time. You know,
Thanks, Lonnie.
He like
Honestly,
like wave.
I was gonna say he like is already in the back sweeping kind of away, and but then just like dramatically looks up and makes really intense smoldering eye contact with you, and then just does like a nod and goes back to whatever he was doing.
I think I immediately turn to Judy like,
turf toe.
turf.
Honestly, it's a miracle he can walk. You are unpacking and restocking everything that came in that morning before any of you even showed up. Lonnie, you are sweeping. I'm sure there are conversations. Well, actually, I feel like Junie and Phoebe would probably be on pretty much the same page as far as what music gets put on in the morning. So,
Mhm.
um, whatever you are feeling at that day, I don't imagine Lonnie ever has much input on or opinions on what gets played in the store.
Not that he expresses.
Not that he expresses. So I think on that note, we're going to hop across Wallachia, across town to the Tepes County Community College, where in the in the auditorium of the Tepes County Community College, where there is currently an audition in progress. They are staging the Wallachia Players, the local community theater that works out of the community college, are planning to stage a production of Hamlet by William Shakespeare. And Barry, I don't think you had much more information to go off of than that, but I think as you are kind of waiting amidst all of the other hopefuls for your chance to audition, would you like to describe Barry?
Yeah. So Barry is sitting on, I assume, like a really uncomfortable, like flat wooden bench along with some other people. He is just like a bundle of nervous energy as you look at him. Like there's just a lot of fidgeting. He's got a book that he's sort of like slapping on his knee and like consulting and then going back. Barry's in his early 20s. Barry's uses he, him pronouns. At the moment, he is dressed like me. He's got a flannel shirt on over a printed tee for the local bookstore, Turner Pages. He's wearing some like generic 90s denim and he's got red Converse. Uh, Sort of blonde hair that even at 23 is already like thinning just a little bit. Very like round face, clean shaven, big glasses, looks a little younger than he actually is. And he has just been like spending all of the time in the run up to the audition, like looking at the other people and being like, is that a Hamlet? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They don't look melancholy enough. Do I look melancholy enough? And then he like frowns, like feels his face frowning, and it's like, no, too melancholy. I don't think. Yeah, right. Just like sort of massaging his face into the positions that he wants it to be in, and then second guessing himself and just getting flustered.
You are pulled out of your deep introspection by the sound of someone audibly clearing their throat. And from where you are seated in the audience, you look up and you see that not only is the person standing on the stage, whom you recognize, looking directly at you. But all of the other auditionees are also looking directly at you. And up on the stage, this man who is about your age, probably maybe a little bit older, he has black, deep black hair that is like clearly just hairsprayed beyond all recognition of what it would look like normally. It's very much kind of like swept over to one side, kind of like a few strands dangling down. His manner of dress would actually kind of remind you of Noah Hartley, the basement vampire, except that it is very well cared for, very clean, very a very like modern twist on it. But he does have like a cravat on, a black jacket over a black button down shirt, very tight black pants that like lead into black boots, a lot of eyeliner on his face, and you would know him. This is Franz, the head of the Wallachia players. And he looks at you and says, "Are we bothering you?"
No, Mr. Franz. I'm. Is it my turn?
No, I was giving the pitch.
Oh, sorry.
It's Barry, right?
Yes, Barry Belmonte.
Well, as I was saying, this is a production of Hamlet, but it is unlike any production of Hamlet you've ever seen before, because our theme is Edgar Allan Poe. You see, in my vision, they're the same. Hamlet is Poe. Lenore is Ophelia. Do you understand?
No.
That was a rhetorical question.
Oh, I'm so
Barry.
sorry.
So, we'll begin our auditions. I hope you brought your sides. Let's start with, I don't know. He points directly at you and says, "Jerry, why don't you come up here?"
Okay. And I'll get up, and in getting up, I'll like knock the bench and cause like a bit of a scene as people are jostled, and like I drop my book and pick it up. I'm like, just like all of the nervous energy packed into one not very large human being.
And who are you auditioning for?
Uh, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, who is also Edgar Allan Poe.
Franz like lets out a bark of laughter that he clearly can't contain and says, "I will be playing Hamlet." And go ahead. What do you say?
I say Rosencrantz.
A equally, if not more gothic person approaches Franz, kind of like steps out of the wings over to him. She has a long black dress on, lots of like fishnets, blonde hair, but very like bleach blonde, almost white. And her makeup is more reddish in tint than Franz's, like very black ensemble. And he or she like walks over to him out of the wings and says, Now, Franz, there's no harm in just letting him audition. Maybe he'll impress us. Maybe he'll impress you." And Franz rolls his eyes and says, "Very well, Serena. I suppose there's no harm in letting him audition." Then, very quietly, but not quietly enough, he says, "Might even be funny." "All right, Barry. Impress us." And he'll get off of the stage and take a seat directly across, just staring at you the whole time.
Okay, so Barry like scurries up onto the stage, and he has sort of settles himself in, gets himself ready, because this is the soliloquy he has been practicing for weeks, like driving Devin crazy with just like repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating this monologue. But he's not great with a memory, so he's got it in a book. So he takes a very deep breath and he says, "Oh, that this too solid flesh should melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon 'gainst self-slaughter? Oh, God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't, ah fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed, things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this," and I point directly at Franz,
Shit.
"Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember!" And then I collapse onto the stage, like bawling.
Naturally.
I mean, if it was up to me, you'd have the part.
But to the point, he's really bad at it.
Well,
Like
so
it's awful.
I was gonna say, I mean, that art is subjective, and I think maybe you should still roll for it to see if you manage to impress everybody.
Okay, I would love to do that. What am I rolling?
So you're gonna roll 1d10, and you're gonna add your willpower and your art to it.
Okay, so that is 5 plus 0, but because I am talentless, I will take a -3 to that.
Okay.
So it's going to be 2.
It is bad.
That's a 7. So.
Okay. All right. Perfect. 7 is actually not terrible. Sorry, I thought you said you had a 5.
I do, but the talentless drawback that I have means that whenever I'm trying to perform art,
kill that dog.
I get a minus.
Perfect.
All the bad guys.
So yeah, 7 is technically a failure, but it is not far off from a success. So I think there's a general air that you did better than people thought you were going to. And but Franz kind of like has like one hand in, kind of has his head in his hand looking at you, and everybody kind of defers to Franz. Everybody sort of looks at Franz to see how they should react to this. And Franz says, "Well, at least you committed."
So Barry, like at the end of it, he's like on stage in like the like Terminator when he first comes into the future, like just crouched down. And when Franz says, "At least you committed to it," Barry just like falls over to the side, just like thump. And then he says, "Thank you," like scrambles up.
We'll call you. Next.
Thank you for your time. And I'll scamper down the stage, and I'm like looking at all these, like, are the other people giving me looks, or have they moved on?
Other people are giving you looks for sure. You get a few, like, you get some looks of like pity. You get some looks of people who are like clearly on your side. A few people who are definitely trying to ignore you. 100%. They don't want to like associate themselves with you. But yeah,
Okay.
nobody's like going to talk to you or anything like that. Everybody's very
No.
focused on the auditions.
But Barry, who is unable to differentiate between the pity and the actual supporters, gives everybody finger guns and then leaves the
Cool.
thing and gets into his 1984 blue Ford
You get
Escort.
exactly one set of very hesitant and confused finger guns back from somebody.
Yes. Great success.
100% improvement over last time.
Absolutely.
Amazing. You get in your truck. Are you heading into work?
Yes. And as soon as I get in the truck, I'm like, actually, I have a car. Sorry. It's 1984
Right,
blue
sorry.
Ford Escort.
We
I'm like
established.
rummaging in the cassette tapes, and I find
Yeah, just
Have
fucking
fun.
grip it,
Buffy
grip
St.
it,
Marie's
baby.
Fire and Fleet and
Slop that
Candlelight,
down,
and I
dude.
slam that
Yeah,
in,
dude, crack
and it's
one
like
for the big
most
boy.
folky, like 1960s stuff. But that's like Barry's jam, so he's just like high on the experience and like weaving his way through traffic, probably a little faster than he should. But it was an exciting thing. I got a finger gun, and Buffy is with me. Buffy St. Marie. And yeah, I'm going to pull up screeching to the front of the main street and our storefront.
Okay. It is still a little bit on the early side. These were strangely early auditions, clearly, especially for goths. You know what I'm saying? Also, thank you so much for your donation. I had to look this up to make sure that I was saying it correctly. Thank you so much for your donation. Checkers, the Grung Druid, and his trusty frog pals. We appreciate it so much. Listen to Reckless Attack. You pull up outside of the store. The sign has not yet been flipped to open, but you can see, as you would expect, your coworkers like moving around inside. I think maybe as you pull up in your car with the music blaring, I'm going to say, Junie, you were taking like the trash out at that moment. So you see Barry pull up in his car.
Really quick, can I do a poll amongst my fellow players, the ones who are at the shop? So not Barry. Is the store supposed to be open? And have we just not have we not remembered to flip the sign over, or is it just not open yet? And us all freaking out that Barry wasn't there yet was because he wasn't super early.
We totally left that sign unclosed.
Yeah.
That was
We fucked
my
up.
leaning, but
It's
Like,
been
we've been
so
working-
slow this morning. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
well, just wanted to make sure.
I love that. Glad we're all on the same page.
So I guess when Barry pulls up, I'm like trying to cram like trash into a bin,
Mhm.
and I finally see him, and I'm like, oh, whoa, well, look who decided to show up to work today. You're lucky it's been slow. Like, we haven't seen a single customer. You know, where have you been?
So Barry, like, very inelegantly gets out of the car and is like trying to do a cool strut, like, hey, but definitely catches the curb and like trips a little bit. And then when he sees Judy being like all sarcastic, like, hey, he like responds with a little bow of his own and is like, good morning, fellow comrade employee. Slow day. And then he looks at the sign and he's like, you forgot to flip the sign. No worries. Probably not a big deal.
Well,
And then he like ambles on in.
I'm like, well, like, man, you normally you're the one who opens up and stuff like that. You're responsible for the card flipping. We wouldn't
Oh
be.
no. I had the morning off because I had an audition.
No, you're on the schedule. Like, Lonnie had to do your job, so like you're totally on the schedule this morning. Yeah, like Candace was like kicking the shit out of the door. Like, I mean, Phoebe was kicking the shit out of the door.
Like Barry, who is very much, I'm not gonna say he's by the book because that's a different character, but he's very like, he wants to do well at his job, is just like all of the good feelings he had from the finger guns are like contracting into themselves and like bunching up in his stomach, and it's like maybe making him a little nauseated. And he's like, oh god.
Hey, I don't like seeing the light leave your eyes like that. Focus.
Holy shit. Eli, I'm getting like PTSD retail customer service flashbacks from this interaction, which is like good,
Seriously?
which is
Oh,
good,
God.
but also if I just fall silent for a couple minutes, it's because I'm processing some long buried
Oh my
emotions and
God.
The
experiences.
immersion.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
immersion.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
So for the second time this morning, Barry just kind of collapses. Just like kind of hunches up on himself and then is on his knees on the sidewalk. And he definitely like lands in a spilled Wendy's like Frosty all over his right knee. And he's just like, is Lonnie mad at me?
I said Phoebe, but
Oh, is
jeez.
Phoebe mad at me? Are you mad at me? I'm so sorry.
I mean, Barry, man, I hate when you get like this. This you make me nervous when you do shit like this. No one's mad at you. Frankly, we're just wondering where the fuck you were.
I told you guys I had an audition for Hamlet. I've been talking about it for 3 weeks.
I thought it was this weekend.
No, it was today. I told you.
How did it go?
He's like standing up and like
I'm helping him up.
trying to like brush the melted chocolate goop off of his knee, and it's just they said I committed to the bit. And I got
Wow.
finger guns in response, which is better than I've ever gotten. So I think it
Finger
went well.
guns is definitely a response.
Right. Better than no response. And they said they'd call me. I've never gotten that
Right.
before.
Right. Well, they're gonna call you this time, I think.
I hope so.
We all hope so too, Barry.
Your support means everything to me.
So are you flipping the sign?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I've calmed down and Junie has helped me back up, I'll head to the door, open it, jingle jangle, flip the sign, give it a little pat, and then walk in to get a spare pair of pants, which I definitely keep in the store because God knows.
Phoebe is at the cash wrap and has witnessed this entire thing through the front window and is like, so you're fucking late to work? Nobody flipped the sign because you were practicing for your fucking audition this weekend?
No, my audition was today.
What are you talking about, man? You're on the schedule.
I told what's the boss's name?
Jonah.
I told Jonah that I had my audition today.
You've been talking about this for 3 weeks, B. 3
Yes.
weeks. It's like, oh, Saturday, my fucking Hamlet audition. I knew it because you were out there looking melancholy as fuck. And like, I mean, come on. Like, you can't just expect other people. Lonnie had to do your job, man.
Can I see Lonnie right now?
I was going to say, you see, once again, Lonnie is in like the farthest corner, like somehow heard everything. You know, he heard everything, or at least anyone, the audience would. And like awkwardly meets your gaze and then turns away and then goes back to sweeping.
Look how forlorn he is.
Just another knife in my gut. Like, oh God.
Right. To Lonnie, it has nothing to do with that. But outward appearances, it absolutely looks like Lonnie is like, how dare you? I can't even look at you.
Just another sling and arrow of outrageous fortune.
Outrageous fortune.
I look at Barry's face and I'm like, it's a shame you didn't get the fucking work on time. This look would have been perfect for your audition.
Barry nods a thank you. It is like, what do you need me to do?
Well, I mean, you should go ask Lonnie what he needs you to do because he already did your job and you got the sign-up sheet just calling your name, man. But,
oh my God,
you know, whatever. Just like chill out for a second. You don't want you bumming the customers out.
We have coffee.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go in the break room, change my pants, get some coffee that's extremely milk and sugared. And then
Barry does strike me as the kind of person who keeps a spare pair of pants around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If
Also,
I don't have one in the store, there's some in my car.
I was going to say, I appreciate, Will, that you left it an open-ended statement where it's not that he keeps a pair of pants in the store. He keeps a pair of pants around.
Right.
Wherever it is that Barry's going to end up, there's likely a pair of pants just in case.
You never know what's going to happen when you're Barry. Barry, you as all of this is going on, something does occur to you. You looking around the store, you don't see Devin anywhere. And you haven't heard any of your coworkers mention Devin either.
So I'll look around the break room because Devin's definitely got a corner that he sits in. I think that like is his I'm gonna be away from people corner. So I look in the Devin corner and he's not there. And then I look at the sign like the sign up sheet for the chores. Is Devin on the roster today?
Devin's name isn't anywhere on the sign-up sheet.
Okay. So I'll come out of the break room with my cup of coffee. And I'll take a sip. Like, you guys seen Devin?
I think, unlike you, he's scheduled off today. He's not on the schedule.
Did I see Devin this morning?
I don't know that you did because you left for your audition so early.
So even though Barry would be very, very reticent to do this, I'm going to use the work phone to make a personal call. And like you guys can see the sort of like gears turning in Barry's head, like, can I, can't I? Will they say anything? Fuck it. And then I like pick it up and
The second
think-
you reach for it, Phoebe's like, "Oh wow, you're using fucking phone to make personal calls, huh? You just got here."
Right,
No,
but
no,
also 100% of records of Vampire Records employees except Barry have used this phone multiple times for
Yeah.
personal uses. But Barry has literally been the only person in the history since 1966 that has gotten shit for it.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think there's like I was going to say where the phone sits in the break room, there is a like corporate sign over it that says no personal calls, but no has been like crossed out and like an exclamation point has been drawn after calls.
yes. And if Barry is given shit for this, he'd be like, it's work related because Devin is an employee here. And
I don't give a fuck. I'm just fucking with you, man.
Oh.
And I just like refill my coffee and walk out.
I will deflate in relief and then give our joint apartment / duplex a call, see if Devin picks up.
Nobody picks up. But
I like, does it go to the voicemail?
I was going to ask, do you have like a joint voicemail?
Oh, we absolutely do, and it's really cute. Because like Devin clearly does not want to be doing this, but I've clearly forced him to do it. It's like, hey, it's Barry. Silence. And Devin, we're not here right now, sort of deal. So I'll leave a voice message. It's like, Devin, Barry.
So the thing about the voicemail is that there are pauses because Devin's parts are not there. The voicemail says, hey, it's Barry. And then there's silence. And then you hear yourself say, we can't come to the phone right now. We're busy. But leave message.
Mhm.
Will back. Bye.
Okay, that's really weird. Is there any, so like we did employees of the month earlier, is there like an employee of the month like row of photographs? Has Devin ever been employee of the month?
In fact, you are all employees of the month every month. There are just plaques of each of you that stay on the wall year round.
Okay.
Which is pretty nice, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. But now that you look at it, there is not Devin's on the wall anymore. There's not one for Devin.
Okay, so there is one other thing I'm going to check, and that is Devin's milk in the fridge that says, Devin, do not touch, will kill you. So I open the fridge door, and I'm expecting to see that thing with like the skull and crossbones in magic marker or whatever.
The milk is there, but it hath not been written upon.
Barry
is-
comes stumbling out of the break room. It's like, Devin doesn't exist anymore.
Don't you live with him?
Barry is immediately like, oh my god, how am I going to pay rent?
Hey, Hey, Will, can I ask
Mhm.
a quick clarifying question?
Yeah, I would love that.
So we all know Devin.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool. That felt like important thing to
Right. It's not like
clarify.
just Barry has made up an imaginary friend.
No,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
sweet
exactly.
baby.
You all remember Devin.
Okay. And like when Barry is like presumably explaining this or was like looking at the calendar or like looking at the schedule or whatever, would it occur to us that like we also see like, oh wait, no, but like it didn't make sense that Devin wouldn't be on there at all. Like, does that like I'm just making sure that
Mhm.
that that it is the world that is wrong and not only Barry.
Correct. Yeah,
For role play reasons.
Devin was not on the schedule at all, which I think you probably were just like, "Oh, I guess he wrote off. I guess he took off," you know? Uh, but now everything starts to become clear, kind of. And by
We
clear, I
know
mean
a
more confusing.
person named Devin, right?
Yeah, he's that quiet person that's always in the corner being shitty. I mean, not shitty, just like quiet, like whatever. He's standoffish.
He's
Yeah,
complicated.
right?
Yeah, that's a good term. Complicated.
And I think at that moment, you hear a voice from the front of the store say, "Excuse me, are you guys open?"
The sign is
I'll
flipped. Of course we're fucking open. What?
I'll turn around. Yeah, we're
I imagine
open.
all
We're
four of us like do the dramatic 90s, like
Right.
we're all in a huddle and we all look.
Yeah, yeah. There's just a guy standing there in like a sweat like a pullover sweatshirt, and he is just like looking confused, like maybe he walked in on something, and he's like, "Do you have Guns N' Roses?"
We all
Ew.
collectively roll our eyes, or is it just Barry?
No. Very hard roll. Eyes might as well be out of the skull and on the floor at this point. I mean, yeah, but like, can I like interest you in some Faith No More? Or
I'm willing to hear you out.
all right, come here, man. And
Okay,
I like
cool.
take him in the back to like where we have our player, and like I throw the headphones on him, and I'm like trying to like play him like not just the A side, but the B
Yeah.
side too. You know?
Absolutely, and with the first customer of the day, more customers start showing up. The shop gets busier and busier, and it's not like you forget about your Devon plight, but it gets to a point of where like you kind of can't focus on it. I imagine Barry, you might like sneak back and like keep trying to call periodically just to see, but like there's just too much going on, and
Oh yeah, Barry's
yeah,
actually fighting the impulse to like go home,
right.
but the store is busy, and I've already let my beloved coworkers down once today, and I simply can't do it again.
Absolutely. Perfect. I imagine what happens actually as the store starts to get busy is Phoebe, you help that poor misguided soul who was here for the Guns N' Roses album. Uh, Somebody else comes in, Junie, you start helping them, and I imagine then Barry, you and Lonnie realize that it's just the two of you in the break room together.
Lonnie just like stands there the most awkwardly, just not looking at Barry at all, and just like not sure what to do, but just not not being willing to make the first move, decision, or anything. He's just standing there uncomfortably.
I think that Barry in this point is really looking for some reassurance because his friend slash roommate slash coworker has gone missing, and he's sort of been like focusing in on himself, but he sees Lonnie there smoldering, and he's just like, this is really crazy, right?
Lonnie looks up, eyes meet, and yeah. I don't know what to think or do. This is it's, it's weird. It's weird, right? Like that's a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, people don't usually just disappear out of people's lives. I say very meaningfully.
eyes down to the corner again. No, yeah, no. Well, you should try to call again. Just sometimes those like cassette tapes or whatever get like corrupted. So like maybe it's just like a weird thing, And you know how Jonah is. Sometimes if he's drinking, making the schedule, he
He forgot
forgets
I
all
was supposed
kinds
to
of
have this
stuff.
morning off.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you go. Just you call him again, and we'll handle out front.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Barry will stand up, and you'll see him sort of like reach to put his arm or his hand on Lonnie's shoulder, and
Lonnie
then like
trembles.
he pulls it back, and he's like, "Thanks. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
Listen,
good.
we could go for a beer after work sometime. You know."
And he like can't look at you. He just says, "Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe sometime."
Cool. I'll pencil you in. Finger guns. And then I will very nervously walk over to the phone again and call again.
Very important
And
question.
Mhm.
Does Lonnie finger guns back?
I don't think he even like perceives it. Like he's so wrapped up in his inner turmoil.
Okay.
And he just like looks down because as soon as the finger guns happen and he's like looking away and he like turns away to like remove himself from the situation, and only the audience hears him say under his breath, he's like, no, I can't. Stupid. It's against the rules. I can't. And then he leaves the break room and looks at the amassing people out front who and seeing, I assume, only Junie at this point out front, because Phoebe's in the back trying to convert someone from Guns N' Roses. Barry is making a phone call, and only Junie's out front helping all these people. He dramatically turns and picks up a broom and starts sweeping.
Great. Perfect. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Junie, there are a lot of people around. Most of them are starting to just browse the racks. Like, you haven't gotten any specific requests for anything. Nobody's really confused about where to find something. You see a lot of regulars, people that you know very well. And right on cue for about noon, you see your boss walk in. You see Jonah Hartley, the owner of Vampire Records, show up. He is quite a bit older than the rest of you, probably like late 30s, early 40s. His hair is still very long, but it's definitely starting to like thin out. He is dressed, however, like very much like a youth. Still, like he's absolutely wearing a Sublime shirt, a big flannel shirt, like cut off jorts,
How
and
do you do, fellow children kind of
yeah,
vibes? Yeah.
very much so. But it comes very naturally. That "How do you do, fellow children" comes very naturally to Jonah. Um, it's less like he is an adult who is trying to be younger, and more like he is a teenager who has never quite grown up. Um,
Oh.
he has some tattoos and things like that, and he looks and he has sunglasses that he takes off as he steps inside, kind of looks around, like nods approvingly, sees you standing there behind the counter, and just like waves at you and starts like moving, navigating around people to get over to
Yeah.
you.
I yell very loudly in order to hopes that everybody in the building hears. I'm like, "Hey, boss man, how are you doing?"
Do you like
Bright and early
accidentally?
as always.
Do you like accidentally lean on the intercom?
Yeah, whatever I gotta do to
Mhm.
get it as far as wide as reach as possible.
Perfect.
I feel like as soon as Barry hears that, he's on the phone and just like throws it. Because he will not be caught making a personal call. So he's like, ah!
mid message, just like pleading, like, just pick up, please, man. If it's a joke, just like I'm freaking out, and hears that and just slams it and just goes back to work.
Yeah, it's a corded phone though, so it like flies halfway across the room and then just kind of like flies back at you. Um, yeah, Jonah steps up to the counter where he sees you. If he like noticed what you did with like alerting the whole store, he
Mhm.
doesn't show it.
Mhm.
And he's like, "What's up? How's it going?"
Ah, it was pretty slow in the morning, but things seem to be picking up. It's business as usual, you know. I do finger guns to him, but it's like the cool finger guns,
Oh,
you know.
are we doing finger guns again?
Barry, Barry's trying a new thing and trying to be encouraging, you know.
Yeah, that's sick. I dig it.
Yeah.
He does finger guns. Back.
That's right.
Uh, everything go okay this morning with the feeding?
Yeah. No, everything we
Good.
opened on time, every tip top, ship shape, everything, I mean, everybody's here except Devin, Um, have you seen him today or like yesterday? I don't remember last time you know.
Devin.
Yeah, Devin.
Is that uh
Barry's roommate gets a little moody, has that like special jug of milk in the fridge for him. One we can't touch. Devin.
Devin?
Like
No.
yay hi. Devin.
He's not the one who always asks us to put on spin doctors, is he?
Is he? Does he? Does he start? I don't know. Um, but he works here.
What? I mean, if you say so. I don't remember. I remember hiring Devin, but okay.
He's
Maybe I
been
did. I don't know.
uh, okay. Does he look off? Or like?
No, this is very typical Jonah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe this is like a prank the boss kind of thing or whatever. But if you see Devin, let me know. I'll be in the back.
Yeah, sure.
He does
And
finger
like
guns back at you.
as soon as the camera shows so it shows Jonah's like back go, Lonnie just materializes
Yeah.
behind Junie.
Oh, it's
and
just the hardest cut, like 6
Yeah.
inches to the right, where
Yeah,
Lonnie has
yeah.
maybe been
Yeah,
standing there the
exactly.
entire time.
He's standing
And-
there the entire time.
Yeah. I just like look at Lonnie I'm like he was there all along. It's like, we know it's Devin, right?
Holding the broom still.
Lonnie,
Just-
look at me. Lonnie, look at me.
Yeah.
We know Devin, right?
So when I was down, and he like leans in. So when I was down, downstairs doing the,
Yeah,
was like-
we all know.
well, yeah, but because no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
But like,
Shh, don't
I
say
asked, about. Well, like, do you think like he knows us? The thing it's did not like. Do I ask? I can ask him.
You want to ask him?
We like.
Are we allowed to ask him?
It's worth a try talking to it for the first time.
Can we establish that Phoebe and Barry are having this exact same conversation somewhere in the back?
I'm down.
That like back and forth cut where it's like
Yeah.
each
Right.
line of
Can we?
dialogue
Should
is
we?
delivered.
100%. Who's the skeptic though between Barry and Phoebe? Who's the person who's like, maybe we shouldn't talk to this thing?
To the thing in the basement?
Yeah.
Phoebe.
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Barry's definitely the one who's like, we got to exhaust all options here. And that gentleman in the basement has been very helpful with my acting career. He's given me a lot of advice. So
Yeah.
maybe he knows what happened to Devin.
No offense, B, but that kind of like gives him negative points against him, you know?
Fine.
No, no reason. I just don't trust him. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
It's fine.
is it because he's a vampire?
So
He,
just
like-
think as vampires. It's
He
fine.
like
Don't-
points to one of the stickers of the store.
You guys are ridiculous. He's in a cage. He's a shithead. He is a liar, and I don't fucking trust him. So, can somebody like take over for me? Because this dude's favorite song is "Sweet Child of Mine," and I don't think I'm breaking him anytime soon.
Okay, yeah. So Barry will tag in, and as Phoebe goes away, he pulls a record off the shelf and sort of like slides into the booth, and he's like, "Let me tell you about Tom Waits' 1978 masterpiece, Blue Valentine." I'm gonna put that on.
Okay. All right. You
I'm looking at
subject this.
I'm shaking
Right.
my head at Lonnie. It's like, I don't know, man. That guy gives me like the heebie-jeebies and stuff like that. You know, every single time I talk to him, like, I don't know. Can you even trust what he says?
Junior, the smartest person that works here.
I love that now you've like absorbed into our group conversation.
You leave the Guns N' Roses guy. It's not a huge store.
No, it's true.
You go up to the front.
What do you mean? Have you talked to him, to
I have no need to talk to him. I go down there. I throw him his fucking blood sack, and I leave. That's the job. It says feed, so I feed and I leave. You fucking stay down there. You talk to him. Is he your friend? Like,
No.
What are you doing, man?
No?
I mean, I'm not like not mean to him, you know. I like acknowledge that he like exists down here, but I mean, as far as I know, it just like slide bag in and sprint back to the door. Really,
Yeah,
quick,
I mean,
like,
There's a big difference between being rude and just like doing your fucking job.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I was just down there earlier, so I'll go. I go pop down. I mean, I'll take a break, and just I'll go see.
can't go
Phoebe's like trying to
downstairs.
like read your face. Can you describe like how you look?
Yeah, it is. So, stop me if you've heard this one before. Furrowed brow. Um, little confusion. Lots of inner turmoil. But like he was what you would pick up if you have any like reading, kind of like human reading skills, is that like he was probing to see how you guys felt about it, and was like, you guys were like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about it, like, like, oh, it's not a thing or a person that I care to interact with, and he's like stewing that over.
So like you're like friends with it.
No, I'm nothing like it. I mean, it's not. No,
Nobody said you were like it.
Nobody said you were like it, dude.
I didn't say it either. Look,
Maybe
I'm
should
gonna
go.
And he like hands you the broom, and he just like hands it to you, and then like turns and like goes down and like goes towards the basement door.
I lean over. It's like, see, turf toe.
He's fucking wild, man. What is his deal?
He's gonna get himself killed though. It's
Oh
like,
my fucking god.
I want to like stand at the door, but like look down, but not go down the stairs.
Phoebe just has the
holding
broom and like is playing air
Or you
guitar
get
on
the
the broom, watching, just watching Junie like follow him, like
watching
fucking guys.
Junie watch Lonnie.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
up there like playing air guitar on like the broom, like
I was gonna ask if it was like, were you like playing air guitar mockingly at Barry, who was trapped in the listening booth with the Guns N' Roses band?
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
I would say that Barry, as soon as he puts the record on, like kind of sits there for a little bit, is like vibing with the guy, and then just like slides back out. Like, just let me know. And then he's gonna like head over to the boss's office and interrogate the boss, because I assume that
Strong
Barry
words.
does the payroll. Like that's an assumption that I make, because I think Barry's the responsible one. So I'm gonna look at the payroll to see if Devin's on there, but interview the vampire, that sounds more exciting. than
Murder the
forensic.
vampire. No, that makes total sense. I feel like the customer like leans out of the booth as you go and is like, "Hey, is this dude all right?
I
Is he
give him the
okay?"
big thumbs up.
Yeah, this time a little stompier, you know,
Okay.
where like previously it was a little kind of like stealth, and this one's a lot of just like working out his feelings through the soles of his feet hitting the stairs
Right, right.
kind of vibe.
Cool. As you make
So
your way
you would hear me
over,
coming.
right, yeah, absolutely.
Like eaten.
I mean, he doesn't seen him look otherwise.
Um, Lonnie goes up and just kind of very confidently, you know, looks it directly in the eyes and like shows no real concern, even just like looks at it, and he says, hey, um so I we all take turns giving you the stuff, right?
Yes.
And so like you like remember to you remember us, right? Like the right.
I'm not a I'm not a dog. Are you asking if I remember faces?
He just like looks around, kind of like churning how to process that. He's like, okay, look, there was this guy, Devin, right? Do you remember? Do you know Devin? He's like kind of nervous. I mean, one of the more nervous one.
What a strange question.
Lonnie does not like that answer. He was really hoping for a yes or a no. That's not what he got, and so Lonnie's not sure how to take that. And he's like, uh, just answer it, yes or no. Right? You know him?
It is so very hard to remember at my advanced age, especially when I'm so hungry.
I'm sorry. I thought I must have mistaken you for a dog or something. And he says it like, and like realizes that he was like getting very worked up about this. And but like you can see it, like there's that moment of realization where it's like, holy shit, what did I just say? But then he like leans back into it and he like tries to just like stare intently at this thing, at this whatever it is.
Can I slowly come down the stairs? Because the longer this goes,
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
more nervously like tippy toe down.
And I feel like you did just hear like raised voices also.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Um no, totally. Yes. All right. Let's see. I just
I
need to
don't
check
like that you're
one.
looking at
No,
things
it's
right now,
fine.
Will.
It's fine.
It
Don't worry about
seems
it.
like, you could just keep playing the scene without looking
Yeah.
at tables or mechanics, right?
There's
That just mhm.
I could be looking at anything right now.
Yeah, but
You don't know what's over here.
mhm. I heard a
Um,
dice. Great.
yeah,
Cool.
whatever. It's all good. Can you make me a roll? Can you roll a d10 and add double your willpower?
What am I rolling against?
a number.
Because if the answer is fear, I don't have to roll shit.
Yeah, it's not fear.
Fuck. And sorry, double willpower, you said?
Mhm.
I think I should double check, but at least a a 12.
All right.
Could be maybe higher, but I'm not. New systems are difficult
It is tricky.
to know.
It is tricky. Okay, cool. So as you say this to Noah, you kind of like your natural instinct is to kind of like get in his face a little bit because you're having this confrontation, and he presses himself right back up against the invisible barrier and looks directly into your eyes. And his eyes are kind of, I mean, they're this like almost this kind of sickly yellow color, but they kind of seem to draw you in. And you kind of feel yourself giving into something you didn't realize you were even fighting to begin with. You didn't fail. So what I'm going to say, Junie, you came down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
Lonnie, you kind of come back to your senses, and you're not really sure how much time has passed. But you kind of have your hands on like either of Junie's arms, and it seems like you were in the process of maybe dragging her towards the barrier before you got a hold of yourself. And Junie, you probably are saying his name. I mean, you can tell me what you were doing, but basically what happened to you is Lonnie came up and kind of grabbed you and started dragging you towards Noah.
Yeah, Lonnie, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I like
and
kick him
what
in
you
the shin.
feel like, so you're like kicking and that kind of stuff, and like the grip that Lonnie has on you is like inhuman. Like no matter you can be prying at fingers, whatever, and it does nothing. It is like stone. And like once he's like gripped you, it's like there's I'm not gonna say nothing you can do, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And as he's going, this like blank look is on his eyes, and he's just dragging you with no resistance, and you can catch his eyes, and they're very glassy, and not even in a like glazed over kind of way, but in a like his eyes look fake for a moment as you're being like dragged.
I think
Lonnie,
I would.
you are back in your senses. You can
Yeah.
absolutely you do not have to do this anymore.
Yeah, but I still do. No, no. But then like so like there's that moment, and then just like it's all like he blinks, and then his eyes just return to normal, and he just like immediate like almost like throws your hands like away from him in like trying to process what just happened, and he's like immediately panicking. Wow,
um,
what? Wait, where'd you come from? What's going
I, I was
what's
like,
going
I'm
on?
like karate hands up. um, could I don't know, for shits and giggles, I have that fortune telling ability. Since I am
Do.
touching Lonnie, is there anything I could get off of that
Ooh,
from Lonnie while I'm
it's a fun
Yeah.
doing that?
question.
Is that psychometry? I meant to ask.
It is not psychometry, it's
Okay.
heightened senses.
Okay, cool. I was just looking in the wrong spot. That makes sense. Where do I find that?
It says a character can glimpse the past and future by looking at someone or
Ooh.
something. It works like psychometry, or it can be
Okay.
dictated by your director,
Cool.
according to the plot line.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Yeah. Go ahead. Answer that.
So as this is happening, this like super traumatic event for you and for Lonnie, you get of the like vision or sense or however it kind of like manifests for you is um you hear rain and you see headlights of a car and pain, and that's the vision that you get just for a moment, and then it's like back to the reality, back to the glassy eyes, back to the like shocked, horrified, confused reaction that Lonnie has in the moment.
Whoa. Cool. Yeah, like Junie like just scrambles to her feet and stuff like that and is like slowly kind of like backing away from this situation, trying to find Phoebe, seeing where Phoebe's at this point. Um, but ultimately trying to separate myself from the situation. Maybe not leaving though.
Did you scream or yell?
Probably you probably would have heard me like yelling at some point once I started getting dragged.
Phoebe is in the very back of the store watching the front door. I think when I hear the scream, I kind of just like lock the front door so no one can leave because I'm not sure what's happening. And I'm standing just like where the break room door is like all the way at the back. So I'm looking out at everybody whilst like trying to like listen and like strain my ear to make sure everything is okay. Like I'm listening really hard, knowing I can't like leave these people alone because I'm the only one on the floor.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think you do hear some commotion, especially
Yeah.
because your hearing is better than a normal person's, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you definitely hear some things that other people definitely do not appear to be picking up on around you.
I like toss over my shoulder, like down the stairs. What the fuck? I'm alone up here. Are you guys like doing it in front of that fucking thing? What are you doing?
What?
I heard
Uh,
yelling. You guys are down there. It's been like a fucking minute, dude. Like 3 songs have played. Are you all right?
uh, Lonnie is like kept. Lonnie is like just in the same way I imagined that you have. It sounded like Lonnie is also backing up still. Is like still is just taking these like staggered steps and like looking down at his hands and looking at you and then after a second stops and then his eyes get really wide and he has this look of just like shock and like sadness all at once, and he doesn't look at you but says certainly loud enough for you to hear, of like, I think it he did something to me. uh oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't. And he's just like looking at his hands and like not looking at you, but like trying to process what happened.
Can I
From
see what
over,
the
go
Can you
ahead.
see what the guy's doing? Like
Yeah.
like can I like shift gaze over to him?
Yeah, he was kind of like he had his hands, he was leaning against the barrier, the invisible barrier. And as you are freaking out, Lonnie, he will call out through the barrier. His voice always sounds like slightly distorted from the other side, but he'll call out and he'll say, "It's not personal, dear. I'm just so sick of cold pig's blood."
I mean, we're not in charge of the menu, like, we're just told what to give you. You can take that up with like upper management or Jonah or whatever of that. You don't have to be like this.
Like I said, it's not personal.
You
Could
Um,
have been
guys stop
anybody.
talking to that thing?
in that moment, as soon as he says it's not personal, there's this like blur of activity, like just speed, and the wall, you see it's like a close-up shot of this vampire I'm imagining, and you see the arcane wall like ripple in front of it, and Lonnie is there having just tried to like punch this like the wall, the vampire, whatever. Like his head is down, like cinematically, like down. He's not looking. Oh, wait, there we go. And he is just like grinding his fist into this like wall, and you can see these like ripples of like magic, and it's just you can see like muscle like straining against this, and he doesn't say anything, and it's like he's not even breathing. He is just pushing so fucking hard against this, and then he drops his hand, and then he just walks away and
Before
like
you drop
goes
your
into
hand, before you drop your
Mhm.
hand, I think there's a moment there, and maybe this is what brings Lonnie back to himself, but Noah kind of leans forward and says very quietly, so that only you can hear, he says, "That's right. Push harder."
Yeah, he just like drops his hand, just immediately goes from this like hyper tense like machine almost to just drooped, nothing left, and walks away, and kind of like really sheepishly kind of like stops, and he's just Junie, I'm sorry. Sorry. And he like I think he leaves the store, think, and like goes out front, like doesn't
Right.
leave, but like goes out back to the alley that he was like kind of hiding in wait, and just like goes and stands there.
Out back, or do you go through the front door?
I think he just goes to the front door. Like I don't think he's he's just like whatever the exit in front of him is that's where he's going. And even if it's causing a light disturbance or whatever, as he's just kind of like barreling through the folks. Not like running into anyone, but like
Hmm.
he's just going straight out the front, I think.
When you get to the front door, it's locked, and I grab your shoulder. It is not a soft grab. It is very extremely firm, probably firmer than you would expect from someone of my height and build.
What a lovely day!
And
You
I
feel a
like
rippling bicep.
I turn you around to face me, even though I am probably, how tall are you? Like 6'2"?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I turn you around. I'm like 7 inches shorter than you, and I'm staring up in your face, and I like poke really hard in your chest. What the fuck were you doing down there? You were talking to it, weren't you?
Um, there's like tears in his eyes,
Yeah,
and
okay.
he like can't answer you. He just
You
like
must have said something
stares
pretty
at you.
fucked up. Stop talking to that thing, all right?
Um, Lonnie just kind of like steps back a little bit, kind of like steps out of your face a little, and turns around, and he puts his hand on the door, and he or puts two hands, like imagine kind of like a dual door kind of swing open thing, and he holds one door and then rips open the other door. Not in a like, it doesn't cause like he doesn't rip it out and like Hulk throw it over his shoulder, but like I'm imagining may even like maybe break the lock, or maybe it's a cheap lock and so it just kind of like snaps open. And but he like just backs up and is just like so can't handle what he's feeling and what happened to him. Um, and the not unfair things that you're saying to him, and like just rips the door open and like goes into the side alley.
I call after you. I'm not fucking covering for you. This is coming out of your goddamn paycheck. And I like go back to the cash wrap, and like I just kind of stand there like cashing people out and everything, but I keep looking over, waiting for Junie to come out.
People have definitely stopped and noticed some of the commotions going on. There are a lot of eyes paying attention. There's still music playing in the background, but I think everybody's kind of just like staring after both of you and trying to figure out exactly what happened here. And as that is happening, as that very dramatic moment is happening, Jonah, with like a Pop-Tart hanging out of his mouth, walks by the listening booth where you were standing, Barry, and does a double take and is like, "Hey, Barry, I thought you were off today." And
Oh.
on that note, we will take a break, I think.
Okay.
All right. We'll be gone for about 10 short minutes. Don't go away. Also, thank you to our raiders. Thanks for raiding us, Goblin Cave TV. We appreciate it. We're raising money for the Sidebar, a nonprofit to save a music venue. If you'd like to donate, we would appreciate it so much. So would they. But we'll be gone for 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off. Don't go anywhere. See you real soon. Hello, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking around, or coming back if you left briefly. We are going to pick up right where we left off, which was with Lonnie storming out of work in the middle of the day, and I'm interested to find out where Lonnie is going. But before that happens, uh, Phoebe, you've just had this sort of aggressive conversation with Lonnie. You kind of turn around in a huff. You definitely had a lot of eyes on you. But as you start going back to the counter, someone will tap you on the shoulder.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Yeah, Vampire Records. Hey, how can I help you? What do you need?
And you turn around and, oh, thank you so much for the raid. Chase the Ghost. Thank you.
Thank
Welcome on
you.
in. Hi, Cassie. Welcome. We're raising money for a venue, a local venue in my city, nonprofit that is trying to save it. Exclamation point donate to give if you can, no expectation. We're also pretending to be people in the 90s working in a record store. So that's a lot more fun. An incredible cast, right? You turn around and the person standing there is very much like matching your punk energy. Mask presenting, wearing a leather jacket, a like spray painted t-shirt, big like Doc Martens, and kind of like nods you and says, "You Phoebe?"
Who's asking?
Me.
Yeah, how can I help you, man?
Hey, so my buddy told me to find you because look, I guess something happened. Like the venue in town?
I mean, there's like a fucking million of them, man. Which one?
Not the pizza one.
Yeah, okay. Wait,
Right.
Riot House or the other one?
No, Riot House. That's why I'm here. Brahms, whatever it's called. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay,
So
Bram's cool. Yeah.
I guess we got double booked. I'm in a band. I guess we got double booked, and we don't have anywhere to play tonight. But my boy said I should talk to you because you put on shows
Okay.
sometimes.
What's your band's name?
Well, we're kind of working on the name right now.
Do you have
But
a
right
tape?
now,
Do you have a single?
like recorded.
I mean, I need to know what you sound like, dude. I'm not gonna just stake my reputation on your fucking vibe.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think I have a tape around here somewhere. And he like looks. He like starts patting himself down and reaches into his jacket and does pull out just like a very uh like a tape that you would buy from a Circuit City or something, and it just is written on one side of it on a label. It just says "evil."
Yeah. It's a pretty fuck you name for a dude with no band. Okay. Give me your tape. And I kind of just like snatch it out of his hand.
Well, that's the name right now. We're just called Evil.
high concept, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And I just put it into like the store radio system. Like I don't listen to it first. I just throw it in the store system to like see everybody's reaction to it.
Oh, okay, cool. So what immediately becomes clear to you as you do that is that this was definitely like recorded on a tape recorder.
Mhm.
It's just room audio because like the first thing you can hear is somebody say like, "All right, is it recording?" And then somebody else like knocks over a cymbal, and it just makes a really loud crashing noise, and the you hear the same voice from the beginning just be like Rick, what the fuck? We're recording here. And then like, all right, let's just get back on track. And they start playing. It's fine. It's hard to tell if it's good or bad. It's very fast. It's very loud. Because of the recording quality, you can't actually make out anything that the singer is saying, but it has energy.
I like turn it off, looking at everybody's kind of confused faces, and toss it on the cash wrap toward him. Oh, listen, you can open. I got Tater Tot playing. They've got kind of a same thing you've got, but like way better. No offense. You might be able to get them warmed up. Like this is kind of loud, and they're kind of doing this more kind of like jangle pop thing these days that's like mixed in with their sound. So like,
Ugh, pop.
yeah, I know, man, but like you gotta like play to like what sells, and I'm trying to fucking get some repairs on my bike. Whatever. You can come down. I get out of here at like 5. Call time at 7:30.
Yeah. All right, bro. Gig's a gig. I appreciate it. I
I
appreciate
can't pay
you.
you.
Yeah. I mean, I figured gig's a gig, right?
I mean, if you do well, I can give you a headline spot. I got some iffy connections next week if you got time.
I think we'll be gone by then. We're on tour, but maybe we'll sell some merch. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go make some t-shirts. We don't have merch, but I'm gonna go make some t-shirts right now. Maybe we sell them tonight.
What's your name?
My name,
Yeah, buddy.
Tony.
Tony. So Tony, you want to play at my venue. You're on tour and
Yeah.
you have no proper demo, dude. How are you booking these shows, man?
Well, right. So I think what happened is Danny, uh, Danny's a bass player. So you get it. Uh, I think what he did was he called the venues and he like left messages. And I think he thought that meant we had shows. But so far, like nobody knows who we are when we show up.
Yeah.
So
I think Phoebe is like at this point like taking him in completely and wants to like use their bullshit like bullshitometer to like figure out this person because
okay,
nothing he's saying sounds right to her.
right, okay. So you get rolled 1d10 and add your perception, and we'll say notice together.
10.
Okay, cool. 10 is definitely good enough. This guy is as clueless as he seems. Whether or not his bandmates are like, have ill intention or anything like that, you can't really say. But he seems to be like exactly as clueless as he is presenting. And he as you are like thinking this over, he's gonna say, look, I know the tape sounds like shit, but I think if you heard us live, I think you change your mind. Like I promise you, we're good.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. But I guess I'll see you. Sound check is at 7:30.
Yeah,
Thanks.
just
If
the
you're
fucking
later than
rip it,
7:30,
baby.
don't go on.
Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Thank you so much for your donation. We appreciate it so much. Mom, that was my mom. Wait, this is not the normal group that plays on this
Will's
channel.
mom.
There's a running joke. My mom donates every stream.
It's adorable.
Not really a joke. It's just what happens. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay, cool. So the guy, thank you so much. You will not regret this. I promise you. Really appreciate it. We will be there 8 p.m. sharp. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, smarten up, but if you're gonna sit around fucking shit talking your bass player, the least you could do is fucking tighten it up so that you're like the face of the band. I mean, you come in here with this like shitty demo, just saying like friendly advice. Just lay off the lewds or whatever the fuck's going on with you, man.
Okay, well, that actually feels like very hostile advice, but I will take it to heart.
Cool.
I'll try to take it to heart.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like you can see Phoebe's just like, take it how you want. Like, they're not trying to be shitty. They're just like, they just don't have time. Like they've seen a million dudes like this that are just like not on it and they're unimpressed and is very opaque about whether or not they're open to be impressed later
Right.
tonight.
Right on, right on. And he will turn and start walking out. And as he like goes to go through the door, he'll turn around and just like raise his arms over his head and do like evil, and then leave through the front door.
I like to think that while this is happening, Barry has pulled Alani and has sort of like appeared behind Phoebe and is like, did you give away the opening for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I thought I
even-
was supposed to do my medley of show tunes.
oh yeah, man, your call time is at 6:30.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I was thinking I need to stay late because I was late to work. But
I mean, if you don't want the gig, I could
Oh, no,
fill
no.
the spot.
I do want the gig. I'll talk to Jonah. Just but I can't tell him I was late.
Who's gonna tell him you were late?
Me.
What? Get out of here, man!
Just stop talking to me. You're making me angry.
You're bumming me out, man.
Oh, fuck. Okay, see you at 6:30. Finger
Yeah.
guns.
He's gonna tell Jonah he was late.
The show is at 8, but Barry's part is at 6:30.
Really just sing into an empty room.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll
Yeah.
be there.
Someone's got to do the
listening.
sound check.
I'll be listening, buddy.
Thank you. Okay.
Perfect. Amazing. All right, great. Fantastic. So you've got your opener for tonight. You've got Tater Tots booked. You've got Barry's Show Tunes medley. Sounds like the kind of thing that Junie would probably be running sound for, if I had to guess. Hell
Probably, yeah.
Perfect. All right, great. All right, cool. And that's going to be at Riot House, I'm assuming, your house.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, cool. So Lonnie, you have stormed out of your place of work. Where are you going to brood?
Again, I think it's like he did. I think at this point he just needed to be. There just needed to be no stimulation. You know, like he just had to like. There was too much happening too quickly, and he just couldn't deal with it. And so I think I do think he's really just literally outside of the store, basically. Like he's maybe around the corner again, kind of just like in the alley. That's the word. I wanted to say hallway. You know, the outdoor trash hallway, aka the alleyway that is right there. And like I think like I don't like I think the energy is not like anger or whatever. I think it's like a complete absence of it. Like I think he's just like leaning up against a wall and like maybe even like forehead on the like wall and just totally still and looking down at his shoes, presumably also Converses or something along the lines. Chuck Taylor's, I don't know, is that a thing? Doesn't matter.
I mean,
And
they're not great for turf toe, is all I'll say.
no, no. And he just like stands there for a while. And eventually he kind of like looks down at his knuckles that he punched the barrier with. And it's like scuffed a little. But not in like a scrape kind of way where it's punched cement or punched whatever. Um and he just like stares at that for a while and then takes his other hand and then just kind of like rubs the spot like this and takes his hand away and looks down at it and there's nothing there. And he just like stares now even more intently at his hand. And like I think that's just like he will be out there. I'm not going to say until someone gets him, but he is so fucked up and so ashamed and confused that like he has no will or energy or anything to do anything but just stand there and think about what the fuck just happened.
Did Barry see this exchange between Phoebe and Lonnie?
I think we established that pretty much everybody saw it. Yeah.
I feel like if Lonnie doesn't come back after I've talked with Phoebe about going on, I'm gonna like confirm that he is not there, and then I am going to like sort of surreptitiously look around to make sure that Jonah can't see me, and I'm gonna duck out because I assume that we know that Lonnie likes to go to the trash hallway to brood.
The outside trash hallway, yes.
The
Yes,
outside
that is kind
trash
of his special
hallway.
place.
Right. So I think I'm gonna duck around the corner. Be like, Lonnie, it's Barry.
Barry,
Your coworker Barry.
He like immediately like snaps out of his kind of just whatever, and he like takes a step back away from you and like almost like holds a hand up and is like just uh stay there, just is wait, is Junie okay? Did you see Junie?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Junie, are you okay? I feel like Barry was kind of like leaning around the corner of the outside trash hallway to talk.
I don't think
to you.
I've come up. I haven't come up from the basement yet.
Oh, okay. So then when you ask if Junie is okay, I like shuffle back to the door and like lean in that way, and I'm looking to see if Junie is there. Have you emerged, or are you still down there?
Still down there.
I'll shuffle back over and lean. Be like, I don't see Junie.
And he like stares at you. Could you someone needs to go check on her downstairs.
Oh, she's in the basement.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I will then shuffle back over and lean over to Phoebe.
As you start to pull away from the doorway that you're leaning around out of, both of you hear violent coughing from farther down the outside trash hallway. Back towards the entrance, I would say, and you both look and you see this dark clad figure kind of stumbling through the alley in your general direction, but in a very like meandering way. They're kind of doubled over. They're kind of clutching at their stomach, their abdomen, you're not sure, and they're coughing violently as they're stumbling.
Still gonna lean over and say, and sort of shout through the door, Phoebe, can you go check on Junie? I think they're still in the basement.
Phoebe's like, I have to do everything in this place.
Phoebe's like, what the fuck, man? And just like kind of stomps away like you see them leave the cash wrap.
And then I will come back to the outside trash hallway, and I'm just like observing from afar.
Yeah. I'm kind of imagining at that, and like again, the classic, again, a 90s shot of like Barry coming back in the swooping camera, and like he and Lonnie kind of like standing next to each other and just like taking in whatever is happening.
Can I, from this distance, make a doctor roll to see like if I can figure out what's going on with this individual, or do I need to get closer?
You would definitely need to get closer.
Okay, I'm going to quick run to my car, pop the trunk, grab my first aid kit, and then I'm going to run down the trash hallway.
Grab an
Okay.
extra pair of pants just in
Yeah,
case he needs
extra
it.
pair of pants,
Just in
lay it
case.
on the ground just in case.
As you run over, you start grabbing things from your car. Lonnie, the figure is like getting closer to you. They're sort of stumbling. In fact, they're like pretty much right in front of you. And they kind of reach out and like grab onto your sweatshirt, but you don't get the impression that it's like necessarily intentional. You don't even get the impression that they really know their surroundings. They look up at you and they just have this panicked expression on their face. And they just keep coughing so violently, like there's something in their windpipe and it's just not coming out. And as Barry, as you run back, you actually realize this is Franz.
Mr. Franz! And I run over to him and like get down next to him.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah, this is Mr. Franz. He's the brilliant genius behind the Wallachia players. He is a very important man. I look up at Alani. I'm like, Mr. Franz, can you hear me? Can you breathe?
Franz looks at you and there is some recognition on his face, but it is overshadowed by like the terror and the panic in his eyes, and he kind of like puts his hands to his throat and like gestures like he's clearly he's like, I'm choking.
Okay, I'm gonna Heimlich him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like
All right.
go into action, wrap him up, get that diaphragm activated.
All right, cool. I will say that this is going to be intelligence and doctor.
Okay, those are two things Barry is pretty good at. So I have a plus 11 and a 6, so that's 17.
Ooh.
17 is amazing. That's a fantastic roll. You perform the Heimlich flawlessly. It takes longer than it should. Like you've maybe, whether or not you've done this before, you've definitely seen it performed while somebody's like choking on a piece of food or something like that. You are doing this for way longer than you should have to be, but it does seem to almost be helping. He is coughing, and the coughing is kind of getting more and more violently, but it feels like it's changing a little bit. The more you do it, the more he coughs, it feels like the sound of it is changing, and maybe it's being more effective than it was before, until eventually he gives this like he continues to cough. And Lonnie, from where you're standing in front of him, I think you kind of have a front row seat for this, which is a little bit terrifying because he keeps coughing and his mouth is open, and you see this like you see what looks like a beak emerging from his mouth. It's followed by the head of a bird, like a crow, maybe. And then with one last big like Heimlich, he coughs, and a crow or a raven or something erupts from his throat and flies into the sky.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Lonnie both has mechanically no fear and lightning fast reflexes.
Yeah, okay.
Could Lonnie try to like catch this bird?
Absolutely, you can absolutely try. I will say dexterity. Dexterity in sports maybe to do a catch.
I can do a sport.
I
I can do
feeling.
several, up to 5 sport. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Not the best, but that's a 3 on the die, so 12 total.
Okay, 12 is not bad. You can absolutely catch a bird before it flies away. So you like just your hand shoots forward, you grab it, you're holding it. You're not, holding it too tightly, but you're holding it tightly enough that it can't get out
Yeah,
of
like
your
I
grip.
don't think Lonnie even like thought about it. I think Lonnie just like was close enough and just saw this happening and just like recesses of his brain reacted, and for some dumb reason his reaction was to put a hand out and try to grab this bird.
Right.
So he is plus one bird, and I'm going to write it on his character sheet.
Okay.
Is Franz alive?
Franz is alive, and he is sort of like gasping as you're still sort of like you had your arms around him, and you're kind of the only thing holding him up at this point. But he is like breathing finally, and he is
I'm gonna let
gasping
him.
for air.
I'm gonna let him down gently, and I'm gonna close his eyes, and I'm gonna say, "Good night, sweet prince."
He is going to just fully pass the fuck out, I think.
And I'm gonna say, "I think he's dead."
He's clearly breathing to you, Lonnie. But
Yeah, and Lonnie's just like looks at what was happening and then like almost like looks down at his hand, and like finally his brain catches up to the fact that he just like snatched this bird out of the air. What's this bird? Hey Will.
yeah,
Hey,
what's
hey
up?
Will, what's the vibes of this bird in Lonnie holding it, and what's kind of the situation there?
I
Is it
mean,
wet? Like, first, I'd like to know, is it a wet bird?
it's a little wet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise it appears to be a normal bird. It looks very panicked that you are holding it. It's trying to get away, but it cannot. Uh,
So I've read some weird books in my time.
yeah.
Is this Alex or is this Barry or
No, this is
both?
Barry
Okay.
and Alex, but this is Barry specifically. The the gentleman in the basement has had me read some interesting books.
For sure,
Can I
yes.
make an occult roll to see like if I have any idea of why a bird would burst out of a very scary man's mouth?
100%.
The classic
Intelligence.
sign of bird bursting out of scary drama
Right.
community theater actor's mouth.
You
Ism.
see it every day
Yeah.
almost.
It's a cliche, it's a trope.
But it's for a reason because it happens.
Right. Intelligence plus occultism, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
so okay. I got a plus 13 to that. That's a 6 on the die, so that's 19.
19 is very good. That rules. Good job. 19 on the die. I think so. It wasn't a bird, but you
Not
do
a
remember
bird.
that one of the books that Noah told you should read talked about a very similar thing to this. It was about some ancient king, except it wasn't birds that he kept coughing up. It was locusts, and it was a curse.
Gross. Okay. Wait. Multiple? Not just one locust?
It was ongoing.
Well, quick clarifier. What would you say the conversion rate between one crow versus X locusts are?
Yeah, I feel like
Just in
Barry's
terms
doing
of
that
like
math in his
weight.
head.
Is
Yeah,
it
for
like,
sure.
oh, but he vomited one crow, which feels cosmically equal to
Right.
50 locusts, and I don't know.
No, I mean that does seem to check out. That maths.
Mm.
Though I will say
Good.
that now that you have a grip on it, Lonnie, this seems like it's maybe too big to be a crow. It might be a raven.
Corvus Corvus. All right. I'm down with some Corvus Corvus. I think we drag Franz into the store and get him into a safe place where if he needs to vomit up more crows or ravens, he can do so.
I
In the
think
comfort.
Lonnie just stays outside holding this wet bird.
Oh, no, not Lonnie. I need your help. Franz, despite being very thin, is very dense. He's muscular.
He's so full of talent.
He's weighty with talent.
Does he have like remnants of liquid on his face from the vomiting of the bird?
You're making me describe this in so much more detail than I wanted to.
Well,
But yeah,
I mean-
probably.
All right, yeah. Phoebe sees that and is like, "What the fuck, dude? No puking in the store."
And you just see Lonnie holding a bird, a wet bird, just panicked.
No,
Just out of emotion to give.
No.
Phoebe, he's sick. We need to get him help.
yeah. If he's sick, I don't want it. I have shit to do tonight. Get them. No, out, no, out. I go on the fucking intercom. Jonah, are sick people allowed in the store?
Well, you like the whine of the intercom kicks back on, and Jonah says, how sick?
Squawking of a raven.
I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to discriminate on the basis of people being sick. I don't think we can deny service.
Fuck. All right, hurry
I
up, dude.
think-
Put him in the break room. God.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I'm gonna
Ugh.
drag him to the break room, and I'm gonna pour him a cup of coffee, and I'm like, "Do you slap? Do you need something to drink, Franz?"
Franz, his eyelids flutter a couple of times. They open. He sees you. He sits up sharply, looks around, very disoriented, clearly. Where are we?
You're at Vampire Records. In the break room, you had an accident, and I look over to Lonnie, who I assume is still holding a bird.
Did you bring the bird into the store?
Well, if they're not letting me wait outside, I don't know. The bird could be a clue. So,
That's fair.
yeah, I'm still holding this bird.
Was there a
Who's
secondary
making a
conversation
ruckus?
where Phoebe was like, Jonah, what about birds? And Jonah was like, the discrimination thing, man, I don't think we can deny people service
Yeah.
on the basis that they're birds.
Yeah. Listen, like
It
he's
could be a
got
service bird.
Does he have a service animal vest on? There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I think Phoebe just gives up. Like, if Jonah's not gonna have Phoebe's back, Phoebe's just like eye
Yeah.
roll, and then like realizes that they haven't seen Junie, and like goes looking. Like now, there's a couple fewer people in the store. I think I probably
100%.
try to like hustle.
100%. Franz takes the coffee from you as he like kind of tries to get his bearings about him. You saved my life, Jerry.
I don't know about that, Franz, but I was happy to help.
No, Barry. You did a great job, Barry.
Barry looks over to Lonnie. Eyes meet through the crow raven. It's like, thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. That means a lot. And then I look over to Franz. And I'm like, can you breathe? Are you feeling okay?
I think so. I don't know what happened.
Well, we found you in the outside trash hallway,
Right.
Which
The
some
outside trash
people
hallway.
call-
I remember that.
which some people call an alley.
The last thing I remember, I was walking downtown and I just started coughing out of nowhere, and it was awful. I'm just glad it's over. And then mid sentence, he coughs. Now in the basement of the building, Junie, you stayed behind after Lonnie ran out. What are you doing down there?
I kind of wait for a couple minutes till I hear Lonnie like get up to the top of the stairs, but I look back at like Noah and I just kind of mentioned to him, I was like, hey man, like I understand that, I don't know, maybe this is not the best like circumstance for you.
We just do what our boss tells you, but like it doesn't mean you should be mean to like people in general. And not to Lonnie. I mean like turf toe is already hard enough, you know? So but like he came down here for a reason. Like, did you tell him about what happened to Devin?
All right. Um, Interesting. I think I would like you to roll because you're talking to him like he's a human being.
Yes.
So I think maybe definitely influence and maybe also perception because you're kind of like reading him.
It's a 10.
Okay. Uh, 10 is one success. It's adequate. So he'll stop for a second and he'll say, "Look, I know we have a certain, all of us here have this certain jailer prisoner type of relationship where, uh, you know, I'm stuck in here. I can't hurt you. I can't do anything. But I think it's important to keep in mind that I am an evil, soulless creature of hell at the end of the day. And I see where you're coming from. Do you know the story of the fuck? What is it? Is it a fox? Do you know the story of the scorpion and the fox? I think it's a fox. I don't remember what it is. It's a fox in this version.
It could be a frog.
Ah, frog. Yeah, it's probably a frog. You know the story of the frog and the scorpion?
Yeah. Yeah. My mom would tell me about it.
Yes. So I'm the scorpion. You can keep me down here for as long as you want. Feed me on this diet of stale animal blood. But when given the chance, I'm going to sting, my dear.
Okay. I get that. But like, can you like take it up with Jonah and like leave the rest of us alone? Seems like a whatever that is situation. And we're kind of like, I only get paid like what, $7 an hour?
Did they have minimum wage back in your day? 'Cause it fucking blows, man.
I've discussed with my kin many, many times, and his father and his grandfather, for as long as I've been trapped here. There is something about this place, isn't there?
I mean, this place has been like weird since I've been here, since my mom's been here, since everybody's been here. It's been just a thing. It's like the curb appeal of this town.
I remember your friend, Devin. I'll tell you that for recompense, I suppose,
Mhm.
for trying to eat you.
So you ate Devin? Is that what
No,
you're telling me? No?
your friend asked if I remembered him,
Yeah.
and instead of answering, I dominated his mind and tried to force him to throw you into my cell so that I could drink your blood.
That's shitty, dude. Like you don't have to do that. Like
Listen, no arguments here.
this
Believe
question,
me.
but the question is still, did you tell Lonnie that you remember Devin? That's all
No.
I need. No, you don't
No,
remember Devin.
I do remember Devin. I didn't tell Lonnie that I remembered Devin.
Okay. Well, you know, we could have maybe worked something out where I would have like given you something better than like cold pig's blood because I get that shitty. But like because you decided to dominate my boy's mind and then almost drag me into there, this is where our conversation ends for the night. And maybe tomorrow, if you have a better attitude and a better vibe, we can talk about some better food. Thank you about Devin. We've been worried about Devin so much all day, like he disappeared from existence. We're gonna go find Devin now. Um, but thank you. Now know that I'm not crazy.
You know what? All of that is fair. I won't argue.
Yeah.
Maybe we revisit this some other time.
All right, and then with that, I'm
Circle
gonna
back, you know.
circle back when we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
Right. Yes. No. Synergy.
When you get to the top of the stairs, like you almost like bump into me face first. Like we're like face to face. I'm like, you were fucking talking to that thing again.
We just needed to like I needed to make sure that we answered the question that we were ultimately got, and I got the question.
Yeah, but like, how long have you been down here, man? Fucking Lonnie's being fucking weird. I mean, you've been
I
down
knew
here
to
for
be there
fucking
'cause Lonnie
ever.
was being a little like, Lonnie was being like, Lonnie is like, Turf Toe doesn't stop him. If we were wondering the question.
Lonnie has this wet bird and he won't let go of it.
I was gonna say, as you guys are having this conversation, you hear a squawk in the back room, I'm imagining, or a caw or whatever it is.
I like look
The
over
ravens
like,
don't remember.
why
I think
is
ravens croak.
there a raven?
Do you
in-
understand how long you've been gone, dude?
No,
Like,
I don't. I thought I was down there for like 5 seconds getting a breather and then
yeah,
setting
no,
some
no.
boundaries,
They
but
they
like
pulled motherfucker in here with this vomit-soaked bird, and now they're just chilling in the break room. And boss says we can't kick him out, and like I've been alone on the floor this whole time. I'm going to Vlad's. I need some fucking pizza.
To be clear, the back room, the vibes, not chill. And you
I
can
will
hear
owe
how
you.
unchill the back room vibes are at the moment.
I will owe you some pizza once we sort all of this out. But Devin is definitely a thing, a person in our lives,
Yeah.
but everybody else doesn't remember him. Boss
Oh.
doesn't remember him. He's not on the schedule. Like, remember that was like the overall arcing problem before we got into shenanigans. But I've answered the first level of questions we needed to answer.
Yeah, I've had like 4 cups of coffee.
I admire Junie's singular focus on answering the Devin question
someone
to
needs to be
exclusion of
on
all
it.
else.
We're all dealing with our own shit.
But now that
Junie's
we've
like,
crossed
look,
that
I just
over, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember Devin. Boss doesn't remember Devin. Fuck.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
I don't know. Did Barry get a hold of him?
Hey, Barry?
Both of you hear more coughing coming from the break room, more violent coughing.
Right. I
No.
assume-
I don't do puke. And I just go back on the sales floor. I don't even turn
Somebody
around.
called 911. Can we get somebody for this sick man? Why is there a bird? I don't understand.
I feel like Barry, who is in the middle of more Heimlicking, kind of is like leaning out of the break room now, because that's apparently my shtick, is leaning around corners. Is like giving the Heimlich maneuver to the creepy man. Is like, did you need me, Phoebe? Come on, breathe.
I need you to stay the fuck back there and away from me, man. Don't.
You got
We
it.
should close the shop.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get people out of here because this is really fucked up. And like, I'm gonna order a pie. I feel like we all need pizza. I'm just gonna do it. Okay.
I will put money into that.
Junie, are you going into the break room?
There's like the sound
Oh,
of
do I go in the
scuffling
break
now.
room? Yeah.
Yeah, well, so Phoebe's going back out on the sales floor. There's the coughing. Both Lonnie and Barry are in the break room. I'm just curious where Junie's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm gonna start maybe heading towards the break room because,
Cool.
like, if anything, someone needs to call 911.
Uh, Absolutely. And you step into the break room and you are greeted with a very strange scene. You see Lonnie standing there with a bird in his hands. You see Barry behind this like goth gentleman giving him the Heimlich maneuver while he coughs violently. And then as you step in, he uh raises his head, gives one last cough, except this time a entire group of birds explodes out of his open mouth, winging straight for the open door that you are currently standing in.
Oh my
What?
And
god.
on that note, I think we're going to end this session of Vampire Records.
Phoebe is so cheesed off. There's birds in the fucking store shitting on the vinyl.
There's birds in the store.
What are we gonna do?
This is what's with today.
Listen, I think you guys come out and Phoebe is just like standing on racks trying to like use the broom to just like shove the birds toward the door and shoo them out.
There's like, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Listen, Jonah thought Barry had off today. All right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for
Cool.
hanging out. Thanks for
Yeah.
playing Vampire
Cool.
Records. And
Normal shit.
Normal shit. Normal record store. Normal shit. We have been live from the apocalypse. This has been Vampire Records. Thank you so much to everybody who hung out and watched and donated and followed and rated, all of that good stuff. We appreciate it so much. It lets us keep doing the things that we do, which is playing games and raising money for nonprofits and good causes. Once again, this stream has been raising money for a great organization called Feed the Scene that houses and feeds touring bands and is also in the process of trying to save a music venue in my city that I love quite a lot. We raised money tonight, and we appreciate that so much. I think we'll probably call it a night. We will raid a friend before we sign off, but we'll go around and we'll do. Everybody will tell you where to find them and all of the cool stuff that they do. If we're cool with that, once again, we are all the employees of the month. Hi, my name is Will. You can find me at the social media handles down below. I do a lot of stuff. It's all pretty much here at Live from the Apocalypse. Check it out. It's cool. That's really it. That's my plug. Alex.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm Mightiest Finn on Twitter. I write Backwater TTRPG, and sometimes I play games with friends. If you want to see Backwater, we did a cool stream with Percentile of Ice recently, a 4-part episode that ended pretty excitingly. Also done some with the oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. We have a lot of actual plays. If you find us over at Backwater TTRPG on Twitter, we have links to all of our recent actual plays. Many of them were fun with some wonderful people whom I love. So check us out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Candace.
Hi, everybody. I've been Candace. You can find me at that Candace Girl on Twitter or at Candace the Magnificent on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. I am a variety streamer when I'm not doing TTRPGs, which is pretty much all the time. And I do video game streams, ukulele concerts, and Lego builds on Instagram and YouTube. You can find some reviews of me doing ice cream stuff and gaming stuff. You can find me if you want to check me out doing more TTRPG things over at Insight Check this Friday, doing some Dreamcatcher, which is Savage Worlds with Carrie Smith of Crossroad Games. You can find me every Tuesday over on 12-Sided Stories doing Delta Green. And you can also find me, if you're into literature, doing an analysis of Kindred and Interview with the Vampire over on the Barely Bookish podcast, available wherever you catch your pods.
Incredible. I don't know how I didn't know you did ukulele concerts. That's fucking cool.
Oh
Good
yeah,
luck.
I get fucking nuts with it too.
They're phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first thing I saw Candace do was that, and it was like, this is fucking sick.
Thank you. Yeah,
Been
I might
signed
be
up ever
doing.
since.
I'm going to do a Canadian appreciation, an evil theme for Friday the 13th. That's going to have a whole bunch of different kinds of wacky stuff, and then I'll also have a winter one where I'll probably cover Bayside if I could manage it.
That rules.
Amazing.
Bayside
Yeah.
also.
So
rules.
good.
That's
Yeah.
so good. Awesome. Eli.
Hi, I'm Eli. I am one of many who make up Mayday Roleplay. We are a group of chaos friends that make podcasts as well as streaming. We're currently going through our Vampire the Masquerade campaign, Vegas by Night. We will be starting back up again on this coming, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But other than that, we also have like tons of other campaigns that we have on wherever you get your podcasts or VODs. When I'm not doing that, I also write some games online. One called Ghostfi, which is about losing your characters, saying goodbye to them, and letting go. Other than that, you can check me out on Twitter at It Goes to Eli or on Mayday Roleplay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Chaos Friends is a great descriptor. I feel very strongly about that. Did I fix your button, Nathan? I think I did. I did.
Hey, hello. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi, I'm Nathan. I am the GM for the Reckless Attack podcast. We're a weekly 5e actual play podcast. We release every Tuesday, new episodes all the time. It's a whole lot of rollicking fun. It is well edited, high quality audio, and is filled with lots of horror and mysteries, but also friends and frogs and tiny baby creatures who must be protected. And you can find all of our biz on all of the social media platforms, usually at Reckless Attack, but Reckless_Attack, but not always because I wasn't smart in setting things up. And then you can also find all the things that we do at recklessattack.com.
Perfect. Perfect and amazing. Just like all of you. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out and all of you for playing in this game. We will be back 2 Wednesdays from now. I think that is it for us. Live from the Apocalypse. We will not be doing Academy H this Sunday because we will be doing a panel at MagFest. If you're going to MagFest, check that out Sunday morning. We're doing a collaborative how to use character backstories panel at 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning at MagFest, if you happen to be there. We'll be back on Tuesday with Missing Numbers, our Eldritch Horror Pokemon TTRPG. And on that note, I think we're going to call it a night here at Live from the Apocalypse. Follow us on the socials if you're not already. Follow us. Don't follow us. Join the Discord community if you're so inclined. It's a great place full of great people. They're very friendly. We would love to have you be a part of it. And we are going to hop over and say hi to our friends at DMDM Studios who are streaming Mouse Guard currently, as is our occasional want on Wednesday nights when we overlap. There are 2 raid messages in the chat. If you are subscribed, you can feel free to copy paste the first one. If you're not subscribed, feel free to grab the one with the raccoons. DMDM Studios just ended their stream. We're going to raid Lost Caravan once again. So copy paste the raid message if you want to. We are going to disappear for a second. Don't go away. Hop over to Lost Caravan with us. And on that note, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.